Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, let's get right into this. Yes, I'm wearing the Avalanche hat. I got the flag right back here. And of course, the Avalanche jersey. Avalanche jersey. Okay. Reason why tonight is the 82nd game of the 22-23 NHL season. The Avalanche are in a makeup game due to Nashville arena that got flooded due to a water main break several months ago. So they postponed it. And the NHL pushed it back to the last game of the season. Reason why? We didn't know where the standings would be. If Nashville, was out of the playoffs as well as Colorado out of the playoffs, then they wouldn't play the game because it wouldn't be meaningless. So it didn't matter. But the Avalanche have everything tonight to play for. Nashville has nothing to play for. Absolutely nothing. They're out of the playoffs. They're won it and they're just done. The Avalanche have everything. Why? Even though the Avalanche won last night against the Winnipeg Jets at Colorado, fan appreciation night, this is really the last game. And was it Dallas? Yes, Dallas also won last night. So they have a 1-point advantage over the Avalanche. I believe they have 104 or 103, and the Avalanche have 102, something like that. So 2 points tonight means everything. If the Avalanche go to overtime and lose, they end up in a tie. And then it's a tiebreaker. And I have no idea what the tiebreakers are in any sport, for that matter, to tell you the truth, because it very rarely happens. But tonight means everything for the Avalanche. They need, I should say, to win the Central Division. And the main reason why is because you have home ice advantage. If you don't have home ice advantage, then you don't have your home crowd with you. You don't have your familiarity. If you play the majority of the games on the road, and I know the Avalanche have done well on the road. They have done well on the road. But there's nothing better than home cooking. Sleeping in your own bed, doing your basic routines, that's what they're after. Now, they cannot get first place in the entire conference, Western Conference. They can't. Because the Vegas Golden Knights captured that last night with their win. So the Avalanche can't get that. But it doesn't matter. We still need to have home ice advantage because you play your own division first. Then you play the conference, just like in baseball when, pretty much you play your division, then you play the conference. So it's the same thing in hockey. But here's the thing. If the Avalanche have first place in the Central, and should Vegas lose in any one of their series, guess who's got home ice throughout until they go to the Stanley Cup, which I hope happens. You're right. I'm right. Colorado Avalanche, by virtue of winning tonight, but they have to win tonight. Not an overtime loss, but a win. 2 points. They have to have those 2 points. Right now, the game is on. It's not on regular TV. You have to have ESPN Plus to be able to get it, which I do have. We're getting ready to face off. I got the game on over here to my left, or to my left. It looks to your right. In any case, I'll be glancing at that from time to time. But I hope you guys still stay tuned into the show. I got a lot of Bronco stuff coming on, but I wanted to get the Avalanche news out there as to why I'm wearing the jersey, why I'm wearing a hat, and the whole bit. So I just appreciate it. All right, let's go into the chat real quick. Hey, what's up, my nephew, Robert? Hey, nice to have you in the house, man. Always appreciate you chiming in. He says, hello, Bronco Bill. Hello back, man. Thanks again for coming, for showing up and being in the chat and commenting. Absolutely, Robert. I agree. Go Avalanche. Absolutely. We got to. There's just no two ways about it. We have to. Nashville has nothing to play for. Avalanche have everything. But that's also a big problem. Because when you have nothing to lose, like Nashville Predators have, nothing to lose, they're going to come out, they're going to be firing on all cylinders because they're at home and they don't want to see Colorado get the number one spot. it's one of those things where, hey, if we can be the spoiler, that's what we're going to do. The Avalanche, I sure hope the Avalanche don't come out tight. I really hope they don't come out tight. This is back-to-back for both teams, obviously, because the season ended last night. So this is back-to-back games. Who's going to want it more? Who's going to be more tired? Who's going to be more energetic? I don't know. That's what we're about ready to find out here in the next 2.5 or so hours. Sure hope the Avalanche win. All right. Avatar said, what's up, Broncos country and Avalanche fanatics? If the Av lose in overtime, they will be second seed in division behind the Stars because the Stars have more regulation wins than us. Okay, that I didn't know. Thanks to so much. Avatar, you're like a wealth of information, man. I swear. You're like the encyclopedia of the network. I mean, you're amazing, guy. But no, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. I did not know that tiebreaker. That's okay. Well, that makes sense because I mean, if you have more wins, and people are going to say, well, of course, if they have more wins, how are the Avalanche going to overtake them by winning tonight? Because it comes down to overtime losses, like I mentioned earlier. Overtime losses give you 1 point. Winning, either in overtime or in regulation, gives you 2 points. So a team could theoretically have 80 wins, and another team could have 75 wins and overtake you because of the overtime losses. You get 1 point for that. So let's say they have 6 overtime losses, 6 more overtime losses than the team with 80 points. And let's say the team with 75. Okay, well, then they leap over by 1 point. That's how it works in hockey. But I did not know that, Avatar. Thanks so much for bringing that up. Avatar also says shootout wins hurt us this year. Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Shootout wins did. I agree. It's just hockey. The way they do hockey when it comes to, scoring and all that is interesting. I really do like it. I know a lot of people don't like the overtime losses. I mean, there's a couple teams. I can't remember who they are, but they've got like 15, 16, 17 overtime losses. So they got 15, 16, 17 points. So, I mean, you add that to, let's say, 75, and now you're up to 90. So I like the fact that you can gain a point by, losing in overtime. That'd be kind of cool if that happened in football. Of course, they'd have to go in a point system, and they're not going to do it. But I just find that interesting that if you can take a team to overtime and all you need is 1 point to advance to the playoffs or whatever, hey, you're going to be playing for that. But then it kind of takes away from really trying to win. I don't know. It's a very, very controversial thing that I've heard from so many different people. So it's I don't know. I like the system. Absolutely like the system. Okay, here we go. Let's go into some NFL talk. All right. Huge sale price. Before I get going, Avatar said this. No Cagliano. No Maglin. What happened to Cagliano? I know. Oh, wait a minute. I know he got hurt last night. And I know Maglin also went out. But I didn't think that it was costly for tonight. Well, maybe they just want to save him for the playoffs. I mean, the Avalanche are in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, guys. They're in the playoffs. So my thing is maybe they don't want to risk them getting hurt so that they're out of the playoffs down the road, round 1, round 2, round 3, hopefully Stanley Cup finals, that kind of thing. Maybe that's why. But boy, I sure hope they're not out for long. That's for dang sure. All right, game has just started. And I'll check in from time to time. Avatar, if you have any news on anything involving the Avalanche, if I don't get to it, if there's a score or something, let me know. Anybody else out there as well, let me know. Wow, they just scored. You're right. I just looked over when I saw the score 1-0. Beautiful. 1-0 Avalanche. I'll post it on there so people can see it. 1-0 Avalanche. Beautiful. Looks like Devontae's. Got it. Devontae's. Awesome. Okay. All right, let's get into some football. Huge sale price. The Washington Commanders owner, Dan Snyder, has sold the team to the Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment Group, headed by Josh Harris, for a reported. You guys sitting down? Sure hope so. Hope you're not driving, Robert, because you might drive off a cliff or something. For you heard that right. $6.05 billion with a B, guys. Denver was purchased last season for the record amount of a sale in the NFL for $4.65 billion. Now, I got a couple of questions. I've asked myself this several times when I saw that today or yesterday. $6.5 billion. Are the Washington Commanders that much of a better sell or sale to fans and the area and the media, whatever? I know they're East Coast and the freaking media loves the East Coast because they're biased. But taking that aside, are the Washington Commanders a much better attraction than the Denver Broncos? Really? No, you got to be kidding me. Last time the Redskins, they were the Redskins then. Last time the Redskins won the Super Bowl was against Denver in 1985, I believe. That was here in San Diego, 1985. I got a whole story about crashing the ESPN thing, but anyways, that was 85. The Broncos won the Super Bowl in 97, 98, and 2016 season. So you mean to tell me that the Washington Commanders are a bigger draw than the Broncos? Come on. 6.05? What the heck? Man, you talk about raking somebody over coals and just highway robbery. I mean, I thought the Broncos sale of 4.65 was a lot. But obviously, in hindsight, I mean, the Walton Penner Group got off paying basically peanuts. Because, I mean, this is ridiculous, in my opinion. And I know there's a lot of people out there that love the Washington Commanders. Okay, good for you. All well and good. I just don't think they're worth that kind of money. But then again, if you have the money and you want to be an owner of an NFL franchise team, guys, there's only 32 of them, then why not? Why not pony up? But holy smokes, $6.05 billion for the Commanders. I don't think they've sold out every single game like the Broncos have. And I know, again, I'm going back to saying, okay, yeah, they didn't show up to the games and there was a lot of no-shows. Well, they still bought the tickets. It still was sold out. And it still angers me that if you're going to pay for something, why not freaking use it? Doesn't matter if you're upset with the ownership and the coaching staff or whatever, then voice it through email or voice it through something else. But show support for the players because it's not the players' freaking fault. It's not. Anyways, I'm going off on a whole nother tangent. I could spend the whole show on that, but I'm not going to go down that road. I'm just saying, I just don't think the Washington Commanders are worth that kind of money. Then again, like I said, you want to own an NFL team and you got that kind of cash, you're going to do it. That's all I'm saying. All right. Robert says it pays nice to be caught up in a scandal Snyder made out. Yeah, that's another thing. He's got lawsuits and the NFL basically pushed him out, Robert. That's exactly what you're saying. They basically pushed him out. But you're right. He comes out smelling like roses because he gets all this money and he's got all these lawsuits. Well, now he can pay it off probably. But he's got these lawsuits pending on the way and how he conducted his business as owner of the Redskins / Commanders. Sure, he's got lawsuits up to what. He didn't care at this point in time. Obviously, he does not care. And I'll tell you what, man, that's the problem. They don't discipline him. They don't force him. Sure, like I said, they forced him out of ownership. But like Robert stated, right here, I'll just put it back up again. Like it stated, it paid for him to have a scandal because now he is $6.05 billion richer, minus any other expenses he had to pay. But you know what I'm saying. All right. Avatar, your favorite goalie is in net for the Avs. Georgiev. No. But as long as we're up 2-0, they just scored now. I just saw what Avatar said. I looked up at 2-0. I don't care if Georgiev's in net or not. The only thing that scares me, though, Avatar, the only thing that scares me about being up 2-0 is we being the Avalanche. And yes, I'm a fan. I say we because that's who I am. We have given up multiple 2-0 scores and then sometimes ended up losing 5-2 or 4-2. So being up 2-0 early in the first period really scares me. Really scared me because I don't trust Gorgiev. I don't trust him as far as I could throw him this house. I don't. He can be great one game and he can look like a rookie the next. And I just don't understand it. I don't get it. His focus isn't here. It looks to me like he has no clue what he's doing. And it's just so frustrating. So frustrating. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's go to Tim Patrick. And I really like this. I like this because this to me shows that Tim Patrick feels just like Broncos country feels. And I love it. Here it is. Surprise. Tim Patrick doesn't like the Chiefs or the Raiders. Well, guess what, Tim? Neither does Broncos country. Neither does Broncos country. We can't stand them. Absolutely cannot stand them. And let me throw the Chargers in there as well. I personally can't stand them. But anyways, I continue. Tim Patrick said this, and I quote, I don't like either of them, honestly. They both do it, being cocky, in different ways. The Chiefs do it in a cocky way. They have the right to be cocky because they're Super Bowl champions. But to be cocky and not good, referring to the Raiders, it rubs me the wrong way. I'm not a fan of the Raiders. I'm not a fan of the Chiefs. Like I said, neither are we, Tim. So you're in good company. I continue. I'm still quoting. The Chiefs are cocky little shit. End quote. Well, he's got a right to feel that way. But there's a chip on his shoulder. A huge chip on Tim Patrick's shoulder. Because he was out the entire season last year with a torn ACL. He wants to come back. He wants to prove something. He now has a coach that will utilize him and utilize the offense the way it should have been done last year. But we didn't, have a coach that knew what the heck he was doing. Sean Payton does. And Tim Patrick is excited. I can tell. He can't stand the Chiefs. He wants to beat them badly. We haven't beaten the Chiefs, I think, since 1901. I'm being facetious, guys, I know. But it just seems like forever. And the Raiders, we beat them last year, but that was basically it. Or did we? Yeah, we did. But, we ended up in last place, and they were ahead of us in the standings. This gets in Tim Patrick's soul and gut and heart. He wants to beat these guys. I continue. Avatar, don't tell me that. It's 2-1 now. Oh, my gosh. What's this going to be? 10-9 game? Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. All right, let me continue. The Broncos haven't beaten the Chiefs since Peyton Manning was a Broncos quarterback. That's back to 2015, guys. That's what, 8 years ago, 7 years ago? We're going on that. And the Raiders have dominated as well against Denver. Naturally, such sustained era of dominance over the Broncos sticks in Tim Patrick's craw. Of course it does. He's frustrated. He's angry. But he's also on a mission. He's happy. He's happy from the standpoint that we have Sean Payton, a head coach that knows how to run an offense, that knows how to be a head coach. Tim Patrick's excited. He can't wait to come back. He's working his tail end off to make sure he's ready when the season starts. And that's phenomenal. That's awesome. That's what I want from him. But for him to come out and verbally say, in quotes I just gave it, that he cannot stand, and what I say was, I don't like, he goes, I don't like either team, honestly. Well, that's good, because neither do we. In fact, I don't like anybody in the NFL that plays against us, because I'm a Broncos fan. I know I'm not wearing Broncos stuff tonight, guys, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm a Broncos fan. I don't like any team, but especially in our division, I can't stand them. I don't like the Chiefs. I don't like the Raiders, and I absolutely detest the Chargers. So, yes, Tim Patrick, I'm glad you came out and said that, because I know that that's what other players are saying. Now, my thought is this. Is that going to be bulletin board material, or are we too far away from the season and playing the Chiefs and the Raiders for this to be bulletin board material? Don't know. Personally, I think it really could be bulletin board material to give the Chiefs and Raiders motivation like they need it. You never know. Now, am I glad he said it? Yeah, because it's exactly what Broncos country feels. Exactly what we feel. Could it hurt us in the end? It's only one guy. It's only Tim Patrick. But knowing Tim Patrick, he'll probably light it up like a Roman candle because he is on a mission. All right. Hey, what's going on, Clayton Huron? Nice to have you in the house. Thanks for your comments. Always appreciate it. Yes, please do so. Clayton also said, smash that like button and share. Absolutely. Please share the show, share the network, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. All of those good things. Really, really appreciate it very, very much. And you guys are the best. Thanks for being in the house as always. Yes, Clayton also says, big game tonight for the Avs. Yes. And with the score already 2-1, I don't know, man. Like I said earlier, I just don't. What I just get through saying? The Avalanche have given up many goals when they've led 2-0, and they've either been tied, and sometimes they go on to win, but a lot of times they end up losing because Georgiev, I don't know, he just flakes out or something. They just can't trust the guy. Yes, it's a huge game, but all of a sudden we went up 2-0. Now it's back to 2-1. It's mind-boggling to me. I just don't comprehend it. I don't get it. All right. Let's see. Avatar says, we didn't beat the Raiders last year. Okay, you're right. Okay, so there again. Another reason why Tim Patrick can't stand up. We haven't beat the Raiders and the Chiefs like for years. It's frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. And that's what I love about Tim Patrick coming out going, you know what? I don't like these guys. I don't like them. Honestly, I'm being truthful. Don't like them. You know, and I think what it is, he doesn't like the cockiness of the Raiders. And I agree. You know, I work on the golf course on weekend and 4 days a week. Anyways, I work at the golf course as a starter, and I get the people that come to me that want to get their golf carts, and I send them out to the first tee and all of that stuff. I get there's a lot of people that come up there with Chief paraphernalia on, or they got Raider gear, all that stuff. I don't say anything to them, but those two are the most cocky people I run into. Seriously. They'll see my Avalanche tumbler and they'll go, Colorado. Don't tell me you're a Broncos fan. I'm like, yeah, why would you on that? Broncos suck. Broncos this, all right, whatever. You know what I tell them? If they're, you know what I say? Hey, what's your tea time? Oh, I don't know, 8:30? Not anymore. How about more like 2:30? Oh, you can't do that. Oh, want to bet? Now we're filled up. So, well, just joking. Yeah, okay. Did I start it? No, I didn't start it. So why are you being cocky in my face? Why are you talking, smack? Why are you talking trash? Why? Because that's what they do. And they can't back it up. The only one that's backed it up is the Chiefs. And like Tim Patrick said, they got a right. They're Super Bowl champs. They got a right to be cocky. Okay, till someone knocks them off this year. Hopefully it's Denver. Don't know, that'd be a stretch, but hopefully it's Denver. Raiders, they haven't won a Super Bowl since 1981, I think, or 83. One of those, like 50-some years ago, 40-some years ago. They have nothing to freaking talk smack about. But they're the Raiders. They do it all the time. They don't know anything different. So, yeah, Tim Patrick, I'm glad you spoke your mind. And, I appreciate. Oh, man. Clayton says, I'll tell you what, I'm smelling a 10-13 win season for the Broncos. Woo! 10-13 win season. Holy smokes, dude. I mean, I love your optimism. Absolutely love your optimism. But 10-13. The reason why I'm kind of hesitant to agree with that, Clayton, and like I said, I really appreciate your passion and your optimism and everything. It's just the thing with me is this: can Sean Payton take a team that virtually was broken? I mean, literally broken, that won 5 games. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 5. Won 5 games and not only double it, but go above that? Now, sure, we're probably going to have an easy schedule because we ended in last place. But we still play the Chargers twice, the Chiefs twice, and the Raiders twice. That's 6 games right there. So there's a 17-game season. So if you have to win, or if you're saying that they're going to win 13, then that means they can only lose 4 out of, and let's just use the 6 of our division. That means they have to beat either the Chargers, Raiders, or Chiefs one time. Two of those 6 games. to make it 13 wins. That means we have to run the table on everybody else. Everybody else. Whoo, man. Clayton, like I said, I love your optimism, man. I really do. I really do. I'm just not sold. I haven't seen how they play. I haven't seen, obviously, any of their workouts or practices. Obviously, pre-games that haven't started yet. I don't know, man. I would love to think that we're going to win 10-13. Now, if we win 10, I kind of go with you on 10 because that gives us 7 games between 10 and 17, obviously. So we could theoretically, heaven forbid, we theoretically could lose both to the Chargers, both to the Chiefs, and both to the Raiders and still have a game in hand to lose to any of the other teams. That still means that we have to win 9 out of those 10 games. That's going to be tough. But to me, 10 is a little bit more optimistic and realistic to me than 13. But I'll tell you what, Clayton, I'll take 13 any day of the week. Any freaking day of the week. Absolutely. Okay. Clayton also says people coming back and people we picked up picked up in the number the number one or what? I'm sorry. Coaching, baby. Yes, I agree. Coaching means everything. That's absolutely 100%. Absolutely, totally true. And but the players have to buy into the system. And I'm pretty sure they're going to buy into Sean Payton's system because he's a Super Bowl champion head coach. And he knows how to get the best out of players. So, yeah, I would agree. Coaching is everything. I just don't want to get those expectations this high like I did last year with Hackett. I mean, all those pomp and circumstances and, and confetti and all this kind of, pumping up Hackett and he's going to be a great head coach and blah, blah, blah. He's got all this energy. Well, that went down the tubes in the very first game. And I'm just very leery about getting too, I don't know. I don't want to say drinking the orange Kool-Aid. I just don't want to get too wrapped up in, okay, man, we solved everything. Here we are. That's what Hackett was saying. I don't want to get there. And if you notice that I've got this segment coming up, if you notice, Sean Payton's running his whole thing under the radar. He's not really out there in the media. He's not really saying what they're doing. I'll get to that in just a little bit. Okay. Clayton also says, with our ground and pound game really it's really going to make a difference. Yes, it will. It will make a difference. The problem that I have with that is we don't have Latavius Murray anymore. And we don't know what we're going to get from come on. What's the guy that got injured for the torn ACL and MCL and everything else? So not Latavius Murray. Deshaunte Williams. We don't know what we're going to get with him. We don't know if he's going to come back 100%, if he's even going to be close to what he was. We have zero clue because he hasn't been on the field. He hasn't taken a cut, a hard cut. He hasn't taken a hit. That could all play up in his mind. He may try and not go as aggressive. I would hope not, but you don't know. That's the problem. You don't know. So I don't know, man. I know our ground game is going to be different. I just don't know how. I just don't know who's going to be our running back. And I know that we got that guy from used to be on Kansas City. I know but I don't know. I'm being cautiously optimistic. I'll put it to that way, Clayton. I'm being very cautiously optimistic. I want us to win. Heck, I want us to win 17. You kidding me? Absolutely. Not going to happen, but I would like it. But I'll take 10 any day of the week. And I'll absolutely lavish in 13 if we get there. Great point. All right. The topic of the show was Dre'Mont Jones slams the Broncos. And here it is. This has always bothered me with any player from any one of my favorite teams, Broncos or Avalanche. Avalanche hasn't happened. Broncos has, and so have my favorite baseball team, Chicago Cubs. Okay. I don't like it when players leave and then turn around and trash talk the team that paid them all that money, that gave them the opportunity to be in that level of profession, whether it be the MLB or the NFL or the NHL. You give a player an opportunity. You draft a player. You give that player money. You give that player every opportunity to succeed and be the best at that level they can be. And then when that player leaves, they trash talk the team. They trash talk the city. They trash talk the ownership or the general manager or whatever. That to me speaks volumes. And what it speaks to me is childish, immature, childish. It's all about them. So it's all about me, man. It's all about me. No, it isn't. If it wasn't, and yes, you have talent, okay? These players have talent. I'll give them that. But man, to turn around and slap in the face the very team that drafted you, the very team that paid you that kind of money, it's not their fault if you didn't produce. It's not their fault if you didn't do what they expected. You didn't get to that level that granted you that pay raise. No. It's not something that is just handed out like it is here in California whenever people go on, when the COVID hit in California, they just gave out pump money out to everybody. No, it doesn't work like that in the NHL. It doesn't work like that in the MLB. And it doesn't work like that in the NFL. You have to earn your salary. And it should be that way all the way around anyways. Here's the point. Okay, I get into it. Dre'Mont Jones has been firing off shots at the Broncos, especially George Paton. Really? You're firing off on George Paton. All right, let me continue. Jones signed his free agent contract with the Seattle Seahawks this offseason. I quote what he said. I mean, they should just have traded me from the jump, meaning from the start. I was included in the Wilson trade, but Denver said no. Okay, I'm going to continue and then I'll get into my comments. And then Denver kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say it, that particular word, but Denver didn't pay me any proper respects. What? Denver didn't pay Dre'Mont Jones any respects? Hey, Dre'Mont, have you taken too many shots to the head? They drafted you, you moron. They drafted you. They could have put you in that package with Russell Wilson, but they didn't. Why? Because they wanted to keep you on the team. But there was a problem with that. And I'll get into that in just a minute. So, and I continue to quote, so I'm here, meaning Seattle, because Seattle respected me from the journey or from the jump, end quote. Wait a minute. Seattle respected you from the jump? What? Meaning the salary? Okay. Well, guess what, Dre'Mont? You didn't earn the salary they gave you. You did not earn it in Denver. I continue. Jones is coming off an injury. There you go. And got paid a lot of money for a player. Here's the reason. For a player who's never had more than 6.5 sacks or 45 plus pressures in any given season. Jones' contract in Seattle is 3 years, $51 million with $30 million guaranteed. No freaking way was Denver going to pay that. Absolutely not. Did you hear this? He's never had more than 6.5 sacks. Period. He's coming off of an injury. And he hasn't had 45 plus pressures in any given season. So you take 17 games, okay? Okay, let's go back to 16 because there's only 1 year of 70. Go back to 16 games a season. 16 and 16 is 32. 32 and 16 is 48. 45 plus, he's never had more than 45 plus pressures in any given season. So you take three years and you got what, 48 games? He can't get one pressure a game? Are you kidding me? And Seattle goes out on a limb and pays him a contract worth 3 years, $51 million with $30 million guaranteed. And you're trashing Denver because Denver wouldn't do that. Well, let me tell you something, Dre'Mont. They didn't do it because you didn't earn it. They're not going to pay you that kind of money when you only can produce 6.5 sacks, period, an entire season. That is basically 1 every 3 games. That's not good in the NFL. Not when you were drafted to produce sacks and pressures on the quarterback. Was Seattle desperate? Absolutely, Seattle's desperate. No doubt about it. I know, guys. Go back to last year. Denver was desperate when they gave up the farm and draft choices and everything else, firstborn and all that to get Russell Wilson. I understand that because they thought it would work with Hackett. But Hackett had no clue what the heck he was doing. And he basically let Russell Wilson run the show, which was stupid. Sean Payton's not doing that, guys. It's going to be different. But Dre'Mont Jones trashes Sean Payton, the Denver Broncos, saying he was disrespected? Come on, man. Seriously? Dre'Mont. You don't do that. You don't do it. You don't bite the hand that fed you. You just don't. What comes around, my friend, goes around. And I don't, I'm some of these guys in here, I think it was Bubba that calls me Hitman Bill, because I always say I want this person hurt or that person hurt and stuff. It's not that I want their career ended. I just don't want them to be productive when we're playing that player. Well, when it comes to Dre'Mont, I don't wish you any ill will when it comes to injuries or season-ending injuries or career. I just hope you suck this year. I really do. I hope you don't get a single sack. I hope but then again, you're going to come off smelling like roses because just like Dan Snyder did, not in the same amount of money, but you're going to come out smelling like roses no matter how bad you play because you got $30 million guaranteed. So I know you don't really care. You don't really care how you come off. You don't really care how you sound. You know what, though? Broncos country does. At least this guy does. Because I think it's absolutely disrespectful, a slap in the face, and just inconsiderate to have that kind of a mindset and that kind of an attitude to a team. And yes, maybe it wasn't the same ownership that drafted you. That's beside the point. It was the organization that drafted you. And it was the organization that didn't put you in that trade because they wanted to keep you. But you didn't produce to that level that they felt that you needed to be rewarded. So why don't you just shut your trap, go play in Seattle, have a good season, just suck. It's my opinion. All right. Clayton says, I think for Russell, over 3,000 yards in the air and over 300, I wish, and over 30 touchdowns thrown. I'm not sure. And here's why, Clayton. If we're going to be a run-heavy offense, there's not going to be that much passing going on. But that said, on the flip side, if the Broncos are in tight games, and let's say it's a 27-24 game, and it's like middle fourth quarter, early fourth quarter, and the Broncos need to establish that kind of offensive production so they go to the air. Sure, absolutely. 30 touchdowns. Wow. Is it impossible? No, not at all. I mean, 17 and 17 is 34. So if you have an average of 2 touchdown passes a game, there you go. You got 34 touchdowns in through the air. Is it impossible? No. Is it highly likely? I don't know, because I don't know how much of a run-heavy offense this Broncos team is going to be. I don't. I hope it's balanced. I hope it's 50-50, 55-45, 60-40. I don't want any less than 60-40 run-heavy. I would like it more if it was like 55-45. I'll settle for that. 50-50 would be ideal, but I don't really see it being 50-50 either. 55-45, I'll take that. 30 touchdowns, 3,000 yards, maybe a little bit more obtainable than 30 touchdowns. In my opinion, in order for the Broncos to have Russell Wilson throw 30 touchdown passes and over 3,000 and over passing yards, the Broncos are probably going to have to score in the mid to high 20s, maybe low 30s every game. And if that's the case, then we've literally done a 180 from last year. because we couldn't even get out of our own shadow last year. I mean, heck, we had a couple games where we only scored 9 points. We had one game we scored 10. So you're talking about tripling it. And in order to do that, you have to have, excuse me, you have to have dominance. And in order to have dominance, to me, you have to have a passing game. The run sets up the pass in my opinion. But to what extent do you run the ball as opposed to passing? Okay. Robert Marino says Peyton likes airing out the ball, i.e. Drew Brees' no run game. True. Very true. But Sean Payton did come out this year and said that he was going to focus heavily on the run. I don't know if that's a decoy. I don't know if that's 100% truthful. He could have said we're going to be, a heavy run team to see how it starts out. Sean Payton improvises a lot of things. He changes up a lot of things. And by doing so, he's a great head coach and manager of the game. So sure, if he could air it out, he could come out in week 1 and just fire the ball 30 times. I don't think that's going to happen, but he could. So that's a good point. Yes, Drew Brees had his best years under Sean Payton in New Orleans. Absolutely. And that was Drew Brees even admitted that, saying that, being under Sean Payton as a head coach revitalized his career. Absolutely. He got his only Super Bowl championship in New Orleans under Sean Payton. Never did that in San Diego Chargers. Not even close. Not even close. So, yeah, it's not far-fetched to tie in what Clayton Heron said and what Robert Marino said. Could have 3,000 yards passing, 30 touchdowns, and he could be airing it out all over the place. That, to me, would make this guy really happy. I would love to see it. All right. Speaking of Sean Payton, speaking of workouts, like I said earlier, off-season workouts. The Denver Broncos have begun their off-season workouts. However, the team didn't tweet anything in regards to the extent to the extent on their official team account. Sean Payton said last February, and I quote, "Just know that we're working, but little bit less visibility on social media and all those other things," end quote. Ooh. Did I just feel a slap across Hackett's face? Yes, I did. That was a direct slap across Nathaniel Hackett's face. And he's got every right to do it. I know we're going back to that cocky thing and this thing that I mentioned earlier with the Raiders and the Chiefs. No, this isn't cocky. Basically, what he's saying is we're not going to do what we did last year because last year didn't work. It didn't work. Not one thing that the Broncos did in preparation of any game worked. None. Yes, we won 5 games, but that was by miracle, in my opinion. But, I mean, you don't put out to the media what you're going to do every single time. You don't want it out there, like I mentioned earlier, on bulletin board material. You don't want other teams to know what's going on. If it goes to the media, it's going to be out there. And Sean Payton doesn't want to do that. I do know, however, what they are working on, because Sean Payton alluded to that a week or so ago. So I continue. What is known is the Broncos, are lifting and exercising as of right now. What does that mean? Light weights, dumbbells, barbell, whatever. Does it mean, stretch? Obviously, exercising is stretching and all of that goes with it. But does it also mean they're doing heavy lifting? Probably not. They're working their way up. Sean Payton's not going to destroy the team by making a bench press, 500 some pounds right off the get-go. Of course not. But I like the fact that he's not going to put out what they're doing in the media. You put it in the media and it's out there for everybody. And I mean everybody. Scouts, and there's many scouts that go out there and prepare for what's going to happen or what teams are doing. So don't be fooled, guys. Sean Payton knows what he's doing. Excuse me, guys. Sean Payton knows exactly what he's doing, And to me, it's exactly what should be done. All right. Clayton also says, I love it though. It's his way. It's the way Archie way. I agree. It's his way or the highway. And I agree with that. And Sean Payton said earlier, several months ago, and I mentioned it in my show last week. Sean Payton said this, and I'm not going to quote it because I don't have exact wording of what he said, but basically he said this. He said the Broncos, Denver Broncos, is not for everybody. You're not talking about fans or anything. He's talking about players. He goes, this Broncos team is not for everybody. You're going to do it the way we're going to do it, or you're not going to be here. Plain and simple. And that's how it should be. It's not a buddy, but it's not a sorority or not sorority. I don't think they call it frat house. It's not a frat house. You don't come there and party all the time and have a good time and hang out and buddy stuff. Yes, that's all well and good when at the appropriate time. It's not well and good when you're trying to prepare for a game, a season, a career. It's not appropriate. And Sean Payton knows that, unlike Nathaniel Hackett. Sean Payton knows what it takes to win, and he's going to continue to do it his way. And if players want to be on the team, great. If they don't, there's the door, buddy. Don't let it hit you on the backside of the way out. My way or no way. I've done this many times. I'm a Super Bowl champion head coach. You're going to do it my way, or, like I said, there's the door. Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree, Clayton. And Sean Payton is going to push players to their full potential. Absolutely, he's going to. And I think that's what Tim Patrick's really excited about, because he's really excited about this season. He really is. He said it many times, man, he can't wait. He's working hard, trying to get back. He wants to be there for the start of the season. He wants to be there for OTAs. He wants to be there. Why? Because of Sean Payton. Because he's motivated, because he believes that this team is heading in the right direction. And so do I. Absolutely. All right. Robert says, are the Broncos the all-time leaders in Paytons? Yeah, I would think so. Peyton Manning, George Payton, Sean Payton, and Peyton Hillis. Hey, there you go. That's 4 right there. Good. Hey, that was a good insight, Robert. Really appreciate that. I heaven forbid I forgot about Peyton Hillis. The late Peyton Hillis. Just very, very sad. Very, very sad what happened to Peyton Hillis, that is. But yeah, you're right. 4 Peytons. Wow. Never thought of that. That's a good point. All right. Here's a burning question. Here it is. Can Denver Broncos get back on track? Question number 1. Also, will Russell Wilson get back to his Pro Bowl status? Number 2. Denver can only go up from here, but are the problems truly going to be fixed by a master mechanic in Sean Payton? Third question. Well, let's go back to the first one. Can Denver get back on track? Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% they get back on track. You mean to tell me that under Sean Payton, we're going to lose? We're going to only win 5 games? Heck no. We're not going to win just 5 games with Sean Payton as head coach. Not whatsoever. None whatsoever. Second question. Will Russell Wilson get back to his Pro Bowl stats? I don't know. That I don't know. Because I don't know if Russell Wilson, and I'm not going to use the word broken because I don't think he's broken. I just don't know if last year under Hackett and all of that stuff that transpired and whatnot behind the scenes, and him having his own entourage and his own office and on the second floor, not down on the first floor with the players, but, exempt from the players, so to speak. If that didn't get in his head, if that didn't get into his mindset and whatnot, and now doing a 180 with Sean Payton, and you're not having this and you're not having those guys or whatever, if he can stay motivated to be the Russell Wilson that he was in Seattle and when he went to all those Pro Bowls, when he won the Super Bowl against the Broncos, can he be that kind of a quarterback again? In my opinion, yes. And I'll tell you why. Sean Payton took Drew Brees, who had a severely bad dislocated shoulder, and I was at that game. It was in San Diego against the Chargers, and I forget who came in and just totally annihilated Drew Brees, blew him up, so to speak. The ball was fumbled in the end zone. He was stretching for it, and I guess somebody hit him in the shoulder and just severely dislocated. I mean, he was holding it. It was bad. It was bad. But when he went to New Orleans under Sean Payton, guess what? Not only was he better, but he won a Super Bowl in New Orleans. There you go. The Chargers got rid of Drew Brees because they said he's damaged goods. Yeah, I'd like to have Russell Wilson be damaged goods and go to the Super Bowl and win it for the Broncos. Absolutely. That's what Sean Payton can do to players. He like Clayton said earlier, he's going to push the players to their full potential. Absolutely. That's what he did with Drew Brees, and it worked. Can he do it with Russell Wilson? Yes, he can. The question is, can Russell Wilson buy into what Sean Payton's doing, and will Russell Wilson be willing to buy into it, to do whatever it takes to be that guy? I'm just throwing out there, guys. I'm just wondering. My answer to both of those is yes. Let me go to the third question, which was, are the problems truly going to be fixed by one master mechanic in Sean Payton? Answer: not sure. Not sure. Because it says, but are the problems truly going to be fixed? The key word there is truly, and followed by fixed. Is it going to be truly fixed this year? Not 100%. Not in my opinion. No, it's going to be a learning curve. It wasn't fixed 100% in New Orleans when Drew Brees got there. It took some time. It's, again, you guys got to understand, this is Russell Wilson's next, his third head coach in 3 years. He had Pete Carroll in Seattle, then he had Hackett last year, and now he's got Sean Payton. 3 different playbooks, 3 different offensive coordinators, 3 different head coaches, 3 different everything different from last year. I mean, everything other than the players that he played with. But even then, there's been some players coming and going. It's different. Is it going to be truly fixed next year? Answer to this is no. It's not going to be truly fixed. It will be fixed to a degree. It's not going to be truly fixed, because that's not going to happen until the Broncos get back to the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, and hopefully a Super Bowl appearance and win. That's when it's going to be truly fixed. Are we going to be satisfied, Broncos country, to win 10 games, like Clayton said earlier, 10 to 13 games? We're going to be truly happy and one and done in the playoffs? I'm not. I'm not going to be happy one bit. I'll be happy we got the playoffs. I'll be happy we won those games in the season to get there. But I won't be happy until we're hanging up another Super Bowl trophy in our trophy case, so I can put another flag back up here that says Broncos Super Bowl whatever champions. I'm not going to be happy until then, because that's the ultimate goal. Will I be happy if we win 10 games? Absolutely, because then I know the next year could be even better and better and better. Is it going to be truly fixed this year? No, it's not. But it's going to be fixed to a degree. All right. Let's see. Robert says, hey, no. Saints only won that Super Bowl with Brees because of Bountygate. Oh, you had to bring that up. You had to bring that up, Robert. Didn't want to go down that road, but you had to bring it up. All right. I'll give you this. Yes, Bountygate did play a huge part, but I'm going to say that Sean Payton is past that. He's past that. In my opinion, he's past that. It's not going to happen in Denver. We've already had, major issues with, people like that, Josh McDaniels. So I really seriously doubt he'll go down that road. But you still have to say he won the Super Bowl. They did win the Super Bowl. And yes, there may have been some tarnish on the hardware, so to speak. But like I said, I think he's learned from that. The Broncos are a different team than the Saints. And I'll tell you what, we'll just leave it at that. How's that? All right. Okay. Let's go to the last segment of the show. I saw it earlier. I think it's still the same score. I think the score is 3-1 now, Avalanche. I believe they're in the first intermission. So by the time I wrap this show up here, we'll be ready to everyone out there to tune in. I could only find it on ESPN Plus. It might also be on NHL66.ir. You guys go to that on the internet, NHL66.ir. you can find the game there, or if you have ESPN Plus, that's the only way the games are being shown. Okay, let's go to the last segment, and here it is, guys. Alexis Perry. Now, a lot of you don't know who she is. I personally don't know who she is, but I got this across, and apparently she was a director and producer. She also, for the Broncos, she also, had a show. She had interviews with prominent people. They did stories, the whole bit. Anyways, let me get to it. After 4 years working and reporting with the Denver Broncos with stories and interviews, Alexis Perry is stepping away. She said in her tweet, and I quote, "I'm so proud of the work we have done, and I'm excited to see the magic the Broncos broadcast crew continues to create. Broncos country," that's us guys, "Broncos country, thank you for your unwavering support of me, the programs I was a part of, and most importantly, your support of the Denver Broncos. You're the best fans in the NFL." Excuse me, guys. Hang on a second. I apologize. My throat gets dry sometimes. Okay, let me go back. You're the best fans in the NFL, and you should look forward to many more wins ahead. I will see you in the stands, end quote. Alexis Perry, 4 years, doesn't know what she's doing. I'm not sure if she stepped down on her own accord. It doesn't say it. I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. This is just my thoughts. I'm wondering if she stepped away on her own accord. I don't know if it had to do with the new ownership that came in. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what her endeavors are, but I wish her all the best. I did hear and see some things that she has done. Very, very good at what she does. And I brought this in because it's pertinent to the Broncos because of so many different changes since new ownership came in. I mentioned last week that John Elway stepped away after his contract was up and that kind of thing. So there is a complete changeover with new ownership. And I understand that. I just wish Alexis Perry all the best in whatever she wants to do down the road. I think that she'll do fine. And the Denver Broncos, what's it say here? The Denver Broncos broadcast crew continues to do very, very well. Alexis, I wish you all the best in whatever you're doing. And thank you for 4 great, wonderful years and all those stories and interviews that you did for the Denver Broncos. That's awesome. All right. Clayton does confirm what I said. It's first intermission. It's 3-1 Avalanche. Like I mentioned at the start of the show, Avalanche, this is a must win for the Colorado Avalanche. If they win tonight, they win the Central Division, and they have home ice advantage throughout the entire conference if the Vegas Raiders, if the Vegas Golden Knights end up losing anytime during their playoffs. If they lose, then the Broncos. Here I go again, man. If they lose, then the Avalanche gets home ice advantage unless they go to the Stanley Cup. If Boston is still in it, that Avalanche, I think it's Boston and Carolina and a couple other teams have to lose for Colorado to have home ice advantage. But it doesn't matter. I want them to win tonight. I want them to win the Central Division over the Dallas Stars. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please do so. It helps out my show. It helps out the network. And it doesn't cost you anything. Promote the show. Promote the network. If you guys like it, please hit the thumbs up button. Comment. Give me some comments if you have any comments. I always respond to them. And I'm always courteous. And I value your opinion and your comments, as always. Thanks, guys, for being in the chat. I want to thank Robert. I want to thank Clayton, Avatar, as always. You guys are great. You're the ones that make the show the best it could possibly be. I'm just bringing the topics and the articles and whatnot. You guys give me the feedback. You guys give me your comments, and you guys are, like I said, you're the backbone of the show. And without you guys, it wouldn't nearly be as good as it is. Clayton, thanks so much for your comment. Great show as always, bud. Go Avs. I agree. Thanks, Clayton. I always appreciate your comments. Thanks for your support. All right, guys, before I get out of here and you guys can switch on over and watch the Avalanche game. Thanks, guys, for being in the chat, watching the show, even though the Av game was on. Appreciate it. Get to the other shows real quick. Monday is the Cluster Puck podcast. It's the Avalanche podcast. I know they'll have a lot to say about this game and the upcoming playoff series. So tune into that 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then on Tuesday, you have the 5280 podcast. That goes live every 5, 6, 7, and 8, followed immediately by the No Nonsense and Whiskey. That follows the 5280 about a half hour after that show ends. And then on Wednesday, you have the Wild Wild West. Features a fan from every AFC West team: Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs. That goes live every 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and 7:30. And then on Friday, this show once again, Broncos Breakdown, live at 5, 6, 7, and 8 with me, your host, Bronco Bill, goes live. Tune in. I'll have some more stuff to talk about. And once again, guys, thanks again for all your support. I really appreciate it. Until Friday or any of the other shows you want to watch, I will talk to you on Friday. Till then, have a great weekend. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.